Hello, class. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed the first week of class. That kind of gives you an idea of what you will be doing for the rest of the semester. And I wanted to talk to you a moment about the diagnostic essays. Now, when I grade them, I will, on SpeedGrader, give you lots of suggestions. I'm not counting off on this one. If you just turn it in MLA style, and if you make a couple little mistakes, I won't say anything. But if you don't do it MLA, I will send it back to you and tell you to do it over. But what I will do is I will, on SpeedGrader, say things like you need to make your thesis more clear, or your paragraphs are not unified. Or I will also tell you the good things. That's a good topic sentence. That's a good paragraph, things like that. But if I do give you suggestions like that of things that you can improve on, then know that in the other essays, I will take off points for these things not being correct. So this is just a diagnostic one that will give you an idea of what your grades, what your essay is going to, what your essays need to look like, and what your strengths and the ways that you can improve. So that kind of gives you an idea of that. Now let's go on to week 2. And you will always start with the overview. That will kind of give you an overview of what you're going to be doing for the rest of the semester, the rest of the week. So one thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking the video quiz, because you'll watch this wonderful video and then you will take the quiz for it. Okay, and then you'll be taking some quizzes, quite a few quizzes this week. You're going to be taking the research and documentation quiz. That one you'll find in the textbook. And now let's talk about your first major essay, your concept and reflection essay. This is the first major essay. It'll be worth 100 points, and it will be, I think it's due in about 4 weeks, but you're going to have little steps as you go. So it's concept and reflection. We'll just do it this way. Instead of going over to PowerPoint, that'll be just as easy. Okay, so what this is a concept. There's a difference between concept and reflection. Concept is going to be the major idea, and it can include ideas, phenomena, or processes. It can have lots of different writing strategies, cause and effect, comparison, all those different things. A concept is a major idea. You'll understand this a little bit more as we go on. Okay, so this is talking about the concept part of the essay. Okay, you're going to take something you know a lot about, or you're going to want to learn more about, and you're going to, later on in the essay, you're going to be reflecting about this. So it's also something that means a lot to you. A couple of you have talked about music, that you are parts of bands. I think both of you, you'll have to find out who you are though, are in a Spanish Christian bands, which is awesome that is happening. I wonder if you already know each other. I don't know, but you might talk about something with the aspect of music or language barriers or something along that line. If you do pick music, you'll have to focus it in, and we'll talk a little bit more about that more. There are some of you who have been interested in clothing. You could talk about how clothing, the concept of clothing being a window or a showing people what people are, an avenue to show your uniqueness. Maybe something like that. Some of you play the piano. You could talk about music with that. So Sarah, I know that there's several of you, that have different things that have happened like that. So then you're going to research material that helps clarify and offers examples of your concept. And you're going to find that in the chapter 6. The best source, let me emphasize this, the best source for research are the library databases. Remember, it's going to be different with your research now than you've done before, because you're not just going to Google search it. That's not going to work. You can use .gov.edu sources and .mil for military, but you must be very careful if you use .com, .org, unless it is a .com source that's also in print. In fact, I won't accept any .coms, .nets, .orgs, unless it's like latimes.com. So then you're going to consider the effective writing strategies, and we're going to talk about that. Think about how to engage your readers' interests in your concept and guide them through that explanation. And those are all those pages that are in there. Okay, you're going to find a focus. You wouldn't want to do music as a whole thing, but you could do music as therapy or something along that line, or music to bring people to Christ if you have a Christian band, or something along that line. You're going to formulate a working thesis. Remember that it must have a claim. You're going to prove it throughout the essay. And then think of topic sentences that support that thesis. And then talk about strategies to develop the paragraphs using specific examples, showing, not telling. And integrate sources using correct MLA signal phrases. And that talks to you about how to do that on the pages that it's giving you there. We're going to be using the phrase MLA signal phrases often, so get close to get it kind of stuck in your head. An MLA signal phrase is just the first word in the works cited entry, so it can take me. It's a signal to tell me where to go. Then there's the reflection part of your essay. And this is fun. This is based on your personal experience, and it's so vivid the readers can imagine what the writer experienced. So that's why I said you've got to take a concept, something that you can learn more about, but it's got to be something that is personal to you. This part of the essay reflects upon the ideas you presented in the concept part. It uses people, places, things. What did it help you realize? And it's usually best as the introduction or conclusion, either the introduction to catch our attention or the conclusion to tell you what we should learn from your essay. So you can have that there all the time, your little one. All right. So this tells you the overview of the concept essay. 4 to 5 pages. You're going to explain, define, illustrate, defend something that's very interesting to you. Your purpose is to make the reader understand your interest and be convinced the subject is worthy of it. And then the reflection of the essay, you may use I. In the rest of the essay, you're not going to use I. You're going to use third person for the most part whenever you write essays and academic essays. Not you, hardly ever do you use you. And then sometimes you use I if you are explaining your own personal experience, but you're not going to say I think, I believe, or anything like that. It can be a narrative of your particular life or situation. So we talked about music, okay, but you could talk about you can't adequately discuss the benefits of music in 4 to 5 pages, but you might be able to discuss music therapy as a healing tool. Something along that line. You're going to have a title that catches the reader's attention, an introduction that introduces the subject and hooks the reader, a thesis with both fact and claim. That's going to usually be the last sentence of your first paragraph. At least 5 body paragraphs, but please don't stick to 5. If you need to go to 7, go to 7. 9, go to 9. It has concrete and adequate sensory details. Remember, I want to see, touch, taste, hear, smell. Use for example. The words for example, those are magic words that will get you into the sensory description, which is great. And a conclusion that ties it together, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, this is your worksheet that will kind of get you, once you figure out what you're doing, you're going to fill this out, and then I'll give you input on it. Okay, you're going to say, what do you think? You're just going to say, what do I think I want? Maybe you're going to do for the introduction. Write your thesis statement here. This is very important. I can give you an idea of whether it's going to work or not, because it has to have a fact and it has to have a claim. And then it has to have supporting. Then there's going to be topic sentences in the body paragraphs that tie to that. So the most important sentence of your whole entire essay is your thesis statement. Fact plus claim. You're going to prove something. And then you'll have topic sentences that will tie to this. If you were using this thing as music as therapy, maybe your thesis would be music used. The use of music in therapy is an effective tool to help people with depression. That would be a good idea because it's giving you fact plus claim. The value word would be it's an effective therapy. And then so your first topic sentence might talk about one of the idea of depression, and the next one might talk about the way that music is an uplifting kind of thing, and then you'd talk about maybe that music why music is uplifting. What is it about music? These are things you'll find out when you do your discussion, okay? And then you're going to do several other supporting points and ideas. And then your conclusion is not going to be a summary, and it cannot introduce new ideas. Sometimes you can put the reflection part of the essay here, or you can put it in the introduction. Lots of times you can use a call to action in that part, and just so that you can say what steps people should take because you have convinced them of your thesis. And then there's chapter 6, rhetorical situations for concept explanations. Okay, so those are the two. If you don't have the 12th edition of our text, if you do have the 12th edition, it's in those pages. If you don't have the 12th, then if you have an older edition or something like that, then it's those chapters. And it's open book. This is the introduction discussion you're going to read. Just walk on by. You can find it starting on page 179. You can also, I put it on the online one too if you want to do that. Use that one. And you're going to talk about your initial reaction to Staples' essay. Consider anything that seems surprising. What have you learned about how identity is shaped by society? That might be something you could use in a concept too. Something that you're interested in. And then, as always, the initial one needs to be done by Thursday. And if you do that, it's 6 points, and then you get 2 points for each of your replies to your teammate, your classmates. And then you're going to, with grammar, have a unit each week, almost every week, and that's going to be in the grammar text. The least you should know about English. The other one is reading and writing well. Okay, so you've got several things with this. You've got, you can look at that YouTube thing if you want to. Read the chapters, the chapter in there. If you have a different one, just look for the ones for finding subjects and verbs. And you're going to do as many exercises as you want to in the book that will help you understand the concept of finding subjects and verbs. And then the answers are in the back. And I've also got some handouts and things like that I've used for many years, and they work. So finding subjects and verbs gives what you do is you find the prepositions, cross them off because they can't be a subject or a verb. Find the infinitives, cross them off because they can't be subjects or verbs. Then you see what's left, and whenever you see what's left, then you find the word, what I call the always verbs, is, are, was, were, could, all that stuff. Those are always verbs. And then find the other verbs, the action words, and sometimes there'll be a word between them, do, not, have. And then find the subject by asking who or what plus the verb. So if you just follow those steps, you'll be able to find subjects and verbs really, really easily. Now, why do I do that? It's because in many, many cases, you're going to need to know the subject or the verb to make sure that you've got complete sentences, complete clauses. Okay, and there's the grammar quiz. That's my cuckoo clock, and that's all. So that's not bad, right, guys? Actually, it is. There's quite a bit of things you're going to be doing with this, but just take one step at a time, and you will do just fine. So, have a good week. Any questions? You can ask me at my office hours, or you can just, as many of you have done already, just send me a message, and I will be glad to help you. All right, you guys take care. Good luck to you.